thanks for watching Numbskull News. And today, apparently, news came down from Ross Dillinger. Apparently, he's the guru or the czar of the CFP negotiations. And he's been putting out freaking articles every freaking day. But today was a big one. This is Wednesday. In case you don't know, it's Wednesday. And we got some big ass news that apparently a deal has been reached, and the Big 12 and the ACC both have submitted all their crap for the CFP negotiations to the presidents of the Big 12 and the ACC for final approval. Not everything has been settled. The final format has not, but as far as all the distribution for payments, all that stuff has been done. So I'm going to pull up this stupid article. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Obviously, I have a problem with English. I can read, but reading and talking, it's not my best attribute. But I couldn't think of a different way to do it. So at least give you a visual aid, if you will. All right, this is the freaking article here. Basically, we're getting close to an agreement. And like I said, the Big 12 and ACC, they've already thrown out some future framework stuff to their commissioners for approval and all that, yada, yada, yada. The Big 12 and the ACC, that was the biggest hurdle to get a deal done. They wanted things a certain way. Wow, it's not just up to the Big 2. The Big 12 and the ACC both have voices in this thing. And according to Mr. Dillinger, the expectation pending the approval from each conference presidential board is that all 10 conferences will commit to, most notably, a new revenue distribution model, parameters around a playoff format, and new governance structures. Notre Dame is supportive of the framework. Now here's part of the big enchilada right here. In a proposal socialized with administrators over the last 10 days, the Big Ten and the SEC would combine to earn about 58% of the CFP's base distribution. The figure would greatly exceed the ACC and Big 12's combined distribution number, which is expected to be around 32%. The remaining amount, roughly 10%, will be distributed to Notre Dame and the 64 group of 5 teams. Good, just say group of 5, damn it. I don't care how many of them there are. But what do I think of this? Now, he broke this down before. Actually, I come right down here. Basically, what he says is the difference can exceed $300 million. The Big 2 stand to make a combined $700 million. So we'll eventually figure out, or we'll know eventually how much exactly each conference is going to get, because it's not going, the Big 10 and the SEC aren't going to make the exact same. Neither is the Big 12 and the ACC. But $400 million we're going to be splitting with the ACC. I don't have a problem with that. I know a lot of people, oh my God, we can't do that. Whoa. Well, right now the perception is the Big Ten and the SEC are on top, and they are. And they bring the biggest ratings, the biggest ratings draw. You have to admit that, Big 12 fans, they are. So do they deserve a little more money? Yes, I'm not worried about that. What I'm looking at is right here. The ACC, we're sharing the $400 million. What happens when the ACC fades away into nothingness? What happens? That $400 million, a nice chunk of that comes to the Big 12. Now, some of that with FSU and Clemson, Miami, when those type of teams go to the SEC and the Big 10, when they get those teams, then their money will, their money, that $700 million, will go up because they're getting big time numbers, big time ratings with some big time programs, blue bloods. But when we take 4, 6, 8 teams out of the ACC, and the ACC is relegated to a group of 5 status, just like the Pac-2 are, then our amount of money we get jumps way the hell up. That's because, and this has nothing to do with the group of 5. Has nothing to do with them. Their money will stay the same. Maybe it takes a little bit of a rise when Oregon State and Washington State decided, they're going to do whatever they're going to do with the Mountain West, and whoever's left of the ACC does whatever they're going to do with the American or whomever, then maybe that 115, bumps up a little bit. But a lot of this 400 million, the vast majority of that will be coming to the Big 12. That's what I'm talking about. Now, this I do believe. Notre Dame is expected to see a significant increase in their current distribution. Look, they're not going to the Big Ten anytime soon, people. They're not. Also, that look-in provision is there. It's there. 2028. So anybody that felt that, oh, ESPN, that's all been a lie. They're not going to, folks, they have to opt in before February 1st of 2025. According to FSU's latest court filing, ESPN has to opt in by February 1st of 2025. If they do not, they don't have to opt out. I was wrong. A lot of us got that wrong. They don't have to opt out. They have to opt in. Which means, and by the way, we're in 2024. We're just under a year away from that date. And ESPN is yet to opt in. So by February 2nd of 2025, we will know for sure. Are they opting in? Now, what we know for sure, all right, is that the champions of the 4 major conferences and the highest ranked group of 5 champion will earn an automatic qualifying spot into any playoff. So however they set up the playoff, at least that is happening, because they have to do that for ESPN. ESPN wants to know what they're buying. So they're at least getting that. Notre Dame is expected to have its own protections related to a format. So a lot of people were like, well, Notre Dame's going to get pushed into the Big Ten because of the CFP stuff. Well, no, they're not. Their money's going up, and they have protections related to any format. Why? That's part of the $1.3 billion a year that ESPN is paying. They want to make sure Notre Dame has a way in if they earn it. Other details of the formula are expected to be finalized after the leagues reach an agreement with ESPN on a TV deal, which will run through 2031 playoff. According to the network's own reporting for 24 and 25, the format is set at 5 plus 7, 12-team model, which grants automatic. We all know this shit. So they're not going to have all of this figured out when they make the deal. They're going to have the basics. They're going to have the distribution. That will be done. How exactly the model, they're not exactly sure. Now, here's something I find very, very funny that I'm taking quite the pleasure in. And it's very telling. One in particular, the 5 plus 9 14-team model is gaining traction. That format mirrors the current 5 plus 7 12-team format, but features 2 additional at-large spots. Presumably, that model would grant automatic berths to the 5 highest ranked conference champions. Now, let me address this thing here first. But okay, before I do, let me read this little part right here because it's relevant. There still exists a possibility of multiple automatic qualifiers for individual leagues, including a format grants, it's the 3 automatic qualifiers, each the SEC and Big Ten, 2 for the ACC and Big 12, and of course 1 for the group of 5. That's the 3-3-2-2-1 plus 3 model. There's other models under consideration, but it's losing steam. The 2-2-1-1-1-1 plus 7. Yeah. But up here, everyone assumed there would be no 5+9 model. Everyone assumed the Big Ten was going to get their way. And I'm saying the Big Ten and only the Big Ten. Look, Greg Sankey forever has been talking about just doing at large, whether it's 12, 14, 16, whatever. All at large, get what you can get. That's Greg Sankey. That's his idea of a perfect playoff. That's why he's talked about it multiple times. But TD is the one talking about multiple automatic qualifiers for the Big Ten, especially the Big Ten and the SEC. The reason this model here is gaining traction is because of Greg Sankey. I'll say he has help from the Big 12 and the ACC. But Greg Sankey does not, I'm telling you right now, he's not wanting multiple automatic qualifiers. Why? Because he has tremendous, he understands the value of his conference championship. It doesn't need to be the number 3 and 4 team going at it for the last AQ spot. That's not what sells the SEC championship game. It's number 1 versus number 2 for the right to call themselves the champ. And the SEC makes an ass ton of money off their conference title game. So does the Big Ten. So does the Big 12. The ACC a little less because they don't get the ratings for it. The Big 12 does. Without Texas and OU, with K-State and TCU, they got 9 million viewers. That's money. All right. The Big Ten and the SEC got even more viewers. That's big money. And now, if you include not just a conference title banner for the winner, but they get the AQ spot. And when you're talking Big Ten, you're talking SEC, that's very well could possibly be the number 1 or number 2 seed. All right, it's important to get the high seeds and face the lower ranked teams on your way, and to get yourself a bye. This is what Greg Sankey wants, and I guarantee you he's grabbing Petiti and saying, look, dude, shut up. We got the money we want. We don't need, 3, 4 AQ spots. We're going to get 3 or 4 teams in a year regardless. Especially in a 14-team model. We're going to get there. Not a problem. But we got the 58%. That's what Greg Sankey's looking at. The money. Now, I'm sorry. I just don't think... I think that was a screw up from Petiti. I don't think... Not that he wasn't thinking, but he still knew to college. Okay, I know he's a smart TV guy. But as being a smart TV guy, he ought to know conference title games make an ass ton of money and they get big ratings, especially in the Big Ten. What are you doing? Don't screw up your conference title game. The money is a more important matter than any format. That's the truth. And of course, those antitrust lawsuits, that retroactive NIL pay is going to take a bite. So, especially out of the Big Two. So just keep that crap in mind there. Keep it in mind that this is why they're pushing for that money. And I got no problem with them getting it. Not as of right now. So it looks like we're going to have a deal in short order. And the Big 12's in a damn good spot. Damn good spot. I mean, this is what I love about Brett Yormark. He's keeping the Big 12 ceiling high. And he's not negotiating out of being mad or thinking something's unfair or unjust and boo-hoo and crying and pulling a bunch of Kurt Scholes kind of crap. All right, he's not doing that. He's like, I'll do some business with you. I'll take a little less right now. But if I can get this conference on a big-time paying basis and we can get certain assets out of the ACC and really prove our worth here, and our money's going to go up, or else we are going to throw a big ass revolt on you. That's what I love about the guy. You play your cards close to the vest, you give when you need to give, and when it's time to take, you hit him. And you hit him hard. That's what I believe he's going to do. Not just with the next, but hell, in 2031, you got the next CFP and you got the next Big 12 media rights deal up. Whew. That's where the man is going to earn his money. Because he's setting it up in a big time way for the Big 12 to get paid big time. So, hold on. The rocket ship is just starting to take off. Anyway, thanks for watching this crap, and I'll be back with some other crap later. Bye.